the beginning of February and I'm going to just give you a quick walk around the garden, bit of an update. This white mulberry tree has grown quite a lot. We got quite a few good fruit off it, not quite as many as I was hoping. It did set a lot, but then it dropped a lot of them early. But I think next year will be the first decent crop we've got of it, because these branches have really sort of thickened up and it's looking like quite a substantial tree, whereas at the beginning of this year it was just a few twigs. Hopefully this commentary doesn't come out too badly. It's quite windy. So the passion fruit vine grew through this tree a lot, but it seems that any of the passion fruit on this side of the fence, or planted facing west, didn't do quite as well as any of the ones that we had planted on that side that were facing east. You can see one of the small little passion fruits here, but a lot of them seem to get this sort of mottled look on the outside of it. I'm not sure what causes it exactly, but the fruit inside can still be good, but they certainly don't look as nice as the ones on the other side. This one seems to be pretty good. Looks like it's a bit more protected being right in amongst the blueberries like that. But yeah, it was a little disappointing, and all the ones that were looking really good, that were all climbing up through the avocado tree there, cockatoos just absolutely smashed them, and we got very few out of that one. But the ones that were on the fence behind it were pretty good. We got lots of blueberries. These are all bare now, but these bushes produced many, many bowls of blueberries. Haven't seen any fruit setting on the finger lime yet. I think there was that one tiny little bit there that looked hopeful, or looks hopeful. Had a few of them earlier that were like that as well, but they've fallen off. It's still very, very small, so if I get any finger limes off it, I'll be very surprised. Now the black Genoa fig and the Hawaiian guava are the two that I've got netted here to protect them from fruit fly. So there's a good number of fruit on each. You could probably sort of half see them through there with difficulty. I'm not going to try to go into there. And it's going to be very difficult to see the guavas in there, but hopefully we get some that don't get attacked by a fruit fly. Jaboticaba, still no fruit. One year it'll flower and fruit, looking for fruit on the stems, on the thickest sort of branches, but I'm not seeing any signs of flowering yet. The experiment with the mandarin grafted onto this Eureka lemon seems to have done quite well. We've got a couple of good Satsuma mandarins. So there's another two behind that are a bit smaller, just down there. But these two are fairly reasonably sized mandarins. And where's that grafted? That's grafted on just there. And there's a few little fruit on the imperial mandarin graft there. Sort of easier to see from the other side, but I definitely disturbed a stink bug in there. I can taste that one. Oh, and there's lots of macadamia nuts, which I don't know if it's possums or rats or what, but something is definitely getting at them. You can see that they just gnaw right through the macadamia shell. Oh, the macadamia pressed the screen. Don't know how exactly they managed to, must be a rat or something that get their little snouts in there and can gnaw out all the macadamia. But you can see the ground is littered with many macadamias that have been eaten. But there are still a lot of them up in the tree. So hopefully whatever is eating them can have their fill, and there'll still be some left by the time these are fully mature. You can see bunches of them hanging. Not as many oranges as I would have liked, but there's a few in amongst, well, a few here and there that have set. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully there's more hidden in there. Not many. Might need to do some pruning and opening up of this tree, and then fertilizing as well. Ah, interesting. There's a few late flowers, or hopefully a new flush of flowers starting. Quite a few fruit set on this lemonade, and I'm hoping that this year is slightly drier when they're ripening so that they don't all go moldy like they did last year in all that rain. And a good number of limes, the Tahitian limes set on this one as well. And a few more flowers opening too. These are great to have on hand for cooking and desserts and anything else that requires lime. Occasional drink here and there. But yeah, really nice to just be able to come out and pick lemons, limes, any herbs and things from the garden, fruit. So yes, the apples, birds got most of those, and fruit fly did as well. Oh, interesting. There's a few new flowers on here. So sort of second flush of flowers. Maybe I might get an apple. Hopefully the fruit fly will be dormant by the time those things set, if they do set. This mango, this is one that I planted from seed, a honey gold mango. Looks like it's suffering from possibly some sort of a fungus, which is causing these little black spots on the leaves and the curling of the leaves. I know there are various sprays and things you can use, fungicides, to treat those, but yeah, hoping that it comes right, but might need to do something about treating that. This is that Valencia orange. I want to take a cutting of that and get it onto the lemon tree as well. And the lychee here is putting on some new growth, which hopefully sticks this time. A lot of the new growth, again, I don't know if it was mold affected, but during all that rain just started and then died off. So hopefully that thing actually starts putting on some size. These are the Satsuma mandarins on the tree itself, the one that I took the cutting from. and also some good sized fruit on that, and a good number of them too. So hopefully these also survive and we get a nice lot of mandarins. See a good bunch of them over there. Little native bees, they're always happy. Fig cutting from the black Genoa fig. There's a nice looking fig down very low. Oh dear, I just caught the cord on something. We had our first fig the other day off the other tree. That was very good. Definitely looking forward to some fig on sourdough with honey as a breakfast. Bit of honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Really nice. You can see the ginger that I planted is coming up at the back there. Got the rhubarb here sending out some new shoots, which is nice. And the turmeric plants here are coming up, and so are grasses and weeds and all sorts of other things in between. Complete mess, needs to be cleared out. I'm going to need to clear it out very soon, or else I'm going to have parsley everywhere, because these are all parsley flowers and parsley seeds, and yeah, I let it go wild. A lot of mint in between there, a lot of sweet potato in there, asparagus, blackberry, all the things. So I need to clear that out. And you can see the sweet potato is sending runners out everywhere as well. I wouldn't be surprised to find that it's sent down some shoots and is growing sweet potatoes in amongst the wood chip as well. So this bed's recently cleared, and I've planted some seeds in here of spring onion and some leeks. This is spinach, which is looking a bit sad in the heat. We've got the Roma tomatoes here. I may have left too many leaves on there and they kind of started to die off a bit, and the top doesn't look the best on these, but hopefully they're good tomatoes. I can use them in a pasta sauce or something. And yeah, I probably need to clear out some of these lower dead and dying leaves and give a bit more airflow and so forth to the ripening tomatoes. I recently put a few scarlet runner beans in the back there, which will come up. This bean actually probably is a previous scarlet runner bean that I didn't dig out completely, and it's sent up some flowers. In fact, it almost certainly is, because it's got those scarlet flowers on it. So I've planted a few more along the back, and they should all climb up. And I've got some Gross Alicia tomatoes that are going to climb up here, and in between all that I've planted some beetroot seeds that I hope come up very soon. I'm expecting them to come up any day now, although I expect seeds to come up the day that I've planted them, or the day after I've planted them most of the time. It never works out. So the cucumbers still powering along here. New cucumbers to pick, and I'm going to have to make a pickle very soon because I can't keep up with the cucumbers this thing's putting out. There's 3 decent sized cucumbers to pick, and I still haven't used the last ones that I picked from here. This is the same plant as that Roma tomato, the one that I showed back there. I took a piece of it and then planted it in here and kept it going, the Walking Dead style, and yeah, it seems to be going okay. I'd be keen to see well, we've got some flowers at least there, so it'll be interesting to see if it puts out reasonable sized tomatoes. Got this pumpkin, which is actually growing from the middle bed over there, but it's climbed around the back, and we've got a pumpkin that is just starting to form. So this one has been fertilized and will start to grow. There's one other pumpkin that is on, that's sort of hanging mid-air. Just in here. So hopefully that doesn't cause any problems, because it's sitting about 15 centimeters or so off the ground. It should be fine. The vines are fairly strong. That's another piece of that same Roma tomato. And I think I've planted some seeds and things in this bed, because I recently filled it and I just scattered some seeds around the place. I think there were some chili seeds and something else I've forgotten. I've definitely planted some more tomato seeds at the base of these trellis supports here. This is the yellow grape tomato. There's quite a few nice examples of them on there. They're very sweet. My son loves them, which is great. And the basil over there is starting to come back. It got eaten by something and it's put on a second, it's got a second wind or something, but yeah. And very happy to see a watermelon in there is set and is starting to pump up. It's amazing how quick that they grow. I mean, it's sort of doubling in size every couple of days. And hopefully there are a few other watermelons that's set along this vine. Even if I just get one good one, that'll be nice. The sage is going in there. Very happy to see some good sized jalapenos in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3 jalapeno plants, and hoping that I'll get a really good number of jalapenos off them. A few ripening here as well. I think I'm going to have to take this cherry tomato out soon. It's seen better days, and I could probably use the space in here to open it up a bit more for the chilies. And then I've also got sweet potato that's growing through this bed and trying to climb out and grow under the house and so forth. Avocados. Well, as I said, it was very sad that we had basically a tree full of passion fruits because of the vine climbing through this avocado tree. But then cockatoos came in and ate a lot of it. So we've still got some of these bell peppers from that plant that's, I didn't even see until recently that it's actually put on quite a number of fruit. So that'll be nice. I can sort of add that to stretch out some chili sauces and things. But this huge tree, which made my potato harvest a lot more difficult by sending its roots up into the other bed, has only got one single avocado that I can see this season. I didn't even see that I thought it had none, but I found this lone specimen here. So I hope it's the best damn avocado I've ever eaten, because it's been a difficult tree and not that rewarding in terms of number of fruit yet. It seems to not put on that many. But the shepherd avocados are quite nice. And it does act as a good support for the passion fruit, which you can see the thickness of this vine. It's well, definitely sort of 2 fingers thick. And then it's just climbed up, and so I've tried to sort of train it out a bit, and then took it upon itself to just climb all the way up through the tree, which would be great if the cockatoos left it alone. the house avocado has put on, well, it's kept a decent number of avocados, so there's quite little still. I was really hopeful that it would have put on a heap of them. There's a funny shaped one. It's a really oddly shaped avocado. But yeah, it had so many avocados on it, and we had lots of winds, and maybe it just had too many to support, but it dropped a lot. But there are still a good number on there, and if they all make it, it should be a nice crop of avocados. And the strawberry plants around here have been quite productive. There's a funny looking one in there, but we've had some really nice strawberries already, and seems like there's plenty more to come. The Fuerte avocado, yeah, hopefully. It's good, it's encouraging to see some new growth on some of the branches sort of in the inner part of the tree, so hopefully it sort of bushes out and canopies, because it's a bit bare at the moment and hasn't really flowered, produced any avocados this season, so we'll see what happens with it. This is the pineapple that we harvested our first pineapple from, and it's put out a pup and seems to be growing quite well. And this was the head of the one that we harvested from that, which has been planted and also seems to be growing nicely now. And also need to do more weeding in this bed. Gladioli that's seen better days. And the grapes, yeah, they don't do that well along the fence. You can see what I mean in that a lot of them just sort of rot off or have these little black spots on them, and sometimes you get a few nice ones, but really it hasn't done terribly well. And I'm almost considering putting something else here instead. Maybe just more passion fruit, or I don't know, something else. But the grapes I think I do need to have growing with either side of it open to air. I think they just need that extra airflow, because I think this might be fungal disease or something, but they don't do so well here. And that's about it for this part. Bane of my existence. I need to sort this out. I've filled the garden beds, but I need to get the rest of that and redo the herb patch and weed a lot of the garden beds and things behind here so that I can spread a lot of this wood chip out. So there's a lot of effort. I've tried to get bits like around here done, which are looking reasonable, and it's just not, it's not a sustainable thing to do, because it's so much effort to clear it out once the weeds go through. And you can see that even though I've cleared it, there's grasses and things that have already sent up shoots. And within a year or two, this is a mess again. So I do need to figure out some other method of keeping these walkways clear. I've been looking at things like steam weeding tools. I'm not sure I like the idea of flame weeding tools, especially on hardwood chip, because, you know, don't want to set the whole place on fire. But steam weeding has its merits. I don't know if it would penetrate deeply enough to kill off any weeds, but if anyone has any suggestions on a way to keep pathways completely clear without concreting it, I guess it would be nice to have something natural underfoot. I'd love to know, but anyway, it's still good having a natural sort of thing here rather than concrete, because the strawberries, I didn't really plan on this, but they've just spread themselves along the path here, and it seems to work fairly well in that the strawberries are sort of kept off any undergrowth and things and can ripen. And yeah, all works okay. Happy to have the strawberries in here. But I don't like having to buy hardwood chip and move it all on a regular basis because that's a ton of effort. And invariably life gets in the way and you end up with this grass growing through everything, which makes it even harder to finish. But anyway, that's my little rant. Front garden bed. Chickens are happy because I mowed today. I usually put some of the clippings in there and they find any bugs and scratch through the grass and eat any bits of clover and anything else. Hello, chickens. I've got a few. Whoa, what was that? Oh, it's just wind blowing through the banana leaves. I thought there was something running through them. Huh. A few flowers starting on the lemon tree here. A few fruit already set. And lots more flowers, which is good. Despite the fact that it's been heavily attacked by gall wasp, which are these weird growths on the branches. And they lay their eggs in there and then hatch out of it, and yeah, it's all through the tree. Pretty weird looking. I've kept saying that I need to do something about that, and I never do something about that. It's sort of a forgotten little tree in that it's out of the way, but it does produce nicely, and I don't know, it seems happy enough, so I'm not going to interfere with it too much. The bananas, we've got new banana stem starting. I mean, well, new bunch of bananas forming on that one. There's one that's a little bit more established over here, which I should probably cut the bottom of the flower off because it's not really doing anything useful, and then cover this so that birds don't start eating it. You can see that something's definitely had a go at some of these already, but most of them are intact. So yeah, I need to get a cover on those ones. Got a few cherry guavas forming on this tree, which is nice. I don't think we've had any cherry guavas off this one. And this was one of these trees where we were given it very kindly, but I didn't really have anywhere to put it. So I put it temporarily behind these bananas when they were very small in that pot. But it's just sent roots down and grown through, well, it sent its roots right down through the bottom of that pot. And it's now climbing up along the fence line here quite happily in amongst the bananas. But it's got some fruit on it, so leave it be. This bunch of bananas is a terrible bunch, and it's all rotting and gross, and I was hoping some of them would survive, and some have, but yeah, I don't know what happened to this bunch. Again, this was, yuck, there's all vinegar flies and things in the rotting bananas in there, so yeah, it's not a happy situation, this this banana bunch. Yeah, again, I really don't know why this one fared so badly. It was in such a prime position, and I was going to show the whole development process of a banana flower forming, and I'd filmed the early part of it, and then the whole bunch just kind of went wrong and started looking really, I don't know, just like it was diseased. So anyway, is what it is. If I get a couple of bananas out of it, that'd be nice. I probably could even pick these and try to cut out any of the rotted ones in between and then just hang it up. I might do that actually, and then just take down this whole stem, which is leaning precariously anyway. Yep, another job to do. And yeah, oh that's right, this Pinkerton avocado as well is another one where it's a pretty sizable tree now and started very small and stayed small for a number of years. And it's suddenly becoming quite substantial. I thought I was going to get more avocados, but there's one that has set. It's looking quite reasonable actually. It's actually already a good size. I've seen it. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. So, just in there. The lone avocado for this season, for this tree. Sort of like the shepherd. But, if it puts on size as much as it has, I'm really hopeful that next season we get a few more avocados off it. And I did plant in amongst there the other finger line, and it looks very overgrown by everything else. There's, I don't know, geranium? No, something else. Can't remember what it's called. Similar. And gone blank on its name. Fuchsia. But yeah, in amongst here is this prickly little finger lime, and I don't see any fruits on it. But again, it's so small I wouldn't really expect to see any fruit. So hopefully it does okay. And lastly, the passion fruit vine up here hasn't flowered yet. The other ones have all flowered, but this one, maybe because it doesn't get enough light, hasn't yet flowered. So I'm hoping it's just going to be a bit late and we actually get some fruit off it this year. Last year it flowered prolifically and didn't set a single fruit. So, who knows? See what happens with it. Ugh. Need to do another power wash on this side of the house. And pull that weed out. And fix that. And do tons of other things. Never ends. Always stuff to do. Clear out those spider webs. Get rid of that. What is that stuff? No, not hydrangea. The wisteria. An awful thing. Whoever lived here before had planted it all along the fence line, and I've been trying to get rid of it ever since. And it constantly just comes back everywhere. Even where this passion fruit had died, it's growing up in there. Awful stuff. Can't kill it. And I'm one of these people who doesn't like using any sort of herbicides or pesticides or any other things that kill things. So I try to dig stuff out and get rid of it that way, but this is impossible to get rid of. You can keep it at bay, but it always comes back. So that is it. The midsummer update. I don't have any wise closing words. So, cool. I think the channel build cuckoo said it best.